Hello and welcome to another episode of ZEIT HEIST. I'm your host, Josh Gaines, one of your favorite guys, lighting the flame of your life. I'm not lighting the flame of your life, but maybe I'm adding to it. You light the flame of your own life, but we're the same thing at the heart of it. So we're lighting each other's flames. Anyway, let's get right into it. I feel like I am pushing people away right now. I'm in this phase, this period, and it took me a little bit to recognize that this was happening, this trend, this pattern. The simplest way to describe it and distill it down is that I don't feel very loving towards myself, and I don't want to be seen right now. I don't mean on camera. I mean, hey, show me more. Hey, get this angle. Ooh, camera all the time. Obviously, I'm a glutton for attention. I'm an absolute whore for approval and affirmation on the internet. But in my regular life, I feel this, how would I describe this? People that I used to spend time with, I don't want to spend time with anymore. I'm not talking about the core folks who I love, you know who you are, redheaded, wizard, black-haired artist, champion dancer, drawing teacher. Anyway, the ones I love, you know who you are. I'm not pushing those people away. It's my circle of people has gotten smaller, but it's more than that. It's there is this active resistance to wanting to be seen right now because I feel raw and vulnerable and like I don't love who I am lately, and I'm not articulating this perfectly. At the root of the matter, do you ever feel like you yourself don't feel lovable, and so you don't want to be loved by an outside party? Now, some people can't relate to that at all. Some people are like, give me all the love all the time. I love it. I'm soaking in it. I'm rolling around in it like a golden retriever in a field. Other people have these moments or periods or all of their life perhaps where it's like, I'm not fucking lovable, so don't you dare fucking love me right now. Like, fuck you. And there's this bristle, this incredible like hedgehog spikes out. This incredible aversion to being loved. Even though in my heart of hearts, of course, that's what I want more than anything. And I don't know what I expect love to feel like. Let's say friendship love. I'm not referring to romantic love right now. Friendship love, love from the universe, love from spirit, from a god or whatever term you want to use. There's something very intense about this period of time right now that I'm in. It's really only been the past couple days or week or so where I feel like the entire day I am walking around taking these big, like, breathing as if I have forgotten to breathe for the last 30 minutes, kind of just like walking around taking these short breaths because my brain is reeling and thinking about so much shit. Waking up in the middle of the night miserably distracted and anxious and can't fall asleep for 2 hours. Going back over conversations that are weeks or months or years old. Little things that upset me, little moments where I wish I'd spoken up for myself better or defended myself. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Why am I spending energy thinking about this? And even now, there are some people who I would still consider friends, but who have asked to spend time with me more than once, and I've been like, no, that energy sounds way too much for me right now. Whereas a couple months ago, it was completely fine. A couple months ago, I was enjoying their company. Those are kind of two different things. The pushing away love, pushing away people is separate from, certain friends' energy is too much right now. But they do feel, it all feels related because it's like, I just haven't ever felt like this. I've never felt so tapped in to my own nervous system and intuition and noticing when a space or a person's energy is just too much or not resonating with where I'm at, and I'm just like, it's nothing personal, but I gotta get the fuck out of here. And so there are certain people that when I think of, even if on a surface level I love them, I appreciate who they are, it's just like there's no way I'm spending time with them right now. Because to do so would be this energetic suck on me. And I just want people to regular suck on me. Ayo! Okay. Hey, everybody, calm down. It's a podcast, all right? We can say whatever we want. It's 2024. We can say whatever we want, all right? We're burning incense. We're talking in our own bed. We can say whatever we want, especially when it comes to being sucked on. I wish that God would suck all the sadness out of me. And God is, it's a work in progress. But I can tell, okay, here's more so what it relates to also. And my fucking astrology apps said that this was going to happen. Not in such precise terms, but it did sort of call that this was going to be an aspect right now. My way of being is changing. And in a certain sense, I am being surrounded by more support, more love, more acceptance, more community, more social time, more art, more expression, more freedom than ever. And some of it feels like too much too fast. And I can't quite articulate how that feels or what I even mean by that. And I probably don't even want to try to describe it. Just simplest way to say it is like Josh 6 years ago, who was married and had a job and had a salary and a mortgage and a 401k and good health insurance. And Josh now, who is living this bizarre and unexpected bohemian, creative, like flowy, naturalist, hippie lifestyle, kind of. And it's a lot more things than that, and terms fail. But there's just... Josh 6 years ago couldn't have imagined this, even though this is exactly what I was calling forth and wanting and asking for and dying for in my dreams or whatever. And now it's here. But the thing about this, about more community, about more people, about more art, about being surrounded by like-minded people who are very different, very talented, very creative, and are more adjusted, more well-adjusted to this life in some ways. There is this huge self-worth piece in me that bubbles up of like, I don't belong here. Don't love me. I don't want to be loved by the group. I'm not part of your thing. I'm like my own separate thing. You guys can be the hippie circle over here, and you identify as this, and you're this little bubble or this little group or clique or whatever. But I'm like, sometimes I'm gonna run off on my own. Sometimes I'm gonna hide. And I have done a lot of hiding in my life. Not even... The kind of hiding that I'm talking about now is not wanting to be seen. Because of the way that I judge myself. And so I'm like, I don't want the group to see me because I know how fucked up I am. And like, the moment that they see me, they're not going to want me here. I don't belong here. I'm not spiritual enough. I'm not artistic enough. I don't dress cool enough. I'm not hot enough. All these fucking qualifying comparative terms roll through my head. And so I want to keep myself separate. I want to keep a little part of myself secret. You wouldn't know it because I spill every fucking detail of my life in this show, but there are still parts of me that I'm just like, have huge walls up, huge walls. And so it's a mixture of knowing my own worth is a big component of this, and learning to accept that. And acknowledging and understanding that there's a ton of change swirling around me. Also, by the way, this is not at all pertaining just to me. I do think in a certain sense this is global. Doesn't mean you're going to see it on a large scale, but I do believe big shifts are happening, and that I don't even know what I mean. But the systems that are in place now are failing and have been for a long time. And all I can really say is that people seem to be waking up to something different. At least desiring something different, if we don't know what the different is yet. But it isn't going to Target and buying some dumb shit that you don't need. It isn't working harder and harder forever to make all the money so that you can retire and like go to golf courses. It isn't social media, it's not shows, it's not consumerism. It's a different kind of connection. Anyway, that's I don't feel in a place to speak to that right now, but despite how I might be coming across, I'm not exactly sad. Don't take this as depressed, because a part of me is like, fuck yes. If this is karmic progress, if what I'm feeling right now is what I need to go through to advance and awaken to a higher understanding, then let's fucking go. You know, put my nose on the grindstone. But it is confusing, and all I can say is that there are these moments that have unfolded over the past, probably since 2020, about since the pandemic. There are these moments that I've had that have felt very poignant and particular, where it's like, after this weird little seismic shift of energy occurs in me and everywhere, nothing is the same. And it is subtle and it's huge. And I think it's just that the changes they take a second to integrate. They don't happen all at once. There's a question in my mind right now, which is, do I have what it takes to adapt to this? Am I capable of adapting to this, to things being so different? Because sometimes it feels like too much, and I feel so confused. I don't know what I am anymore sometimes. In the sense that if someone asked me what I do, or what I'm passionate about, or what I make, or what kind of art I make, or how I'm creative, I would have a little bit more of a definitive answer to that. And now it just feels like, Jesus, don't even ask me what I do. I have no fucking idea, man. I don't know. What does anybody do? What does that mean? We do everything. We do all this stuff all the time. It's like, I think there was a period of time where I would have been like, I'm a filmmaker, or I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm a musician. Now I don't know what I am. And in some ways I don't know what to do either. Because right now feels like this weird, energetic holding period. Where a lot of newness is going to break through. That might sound fucking insane to you. And that's okay. It is. But the bigger thing is just that there is part of me resisting love so hard. even though that's what I've been praying for, asking for. It's what I've always wanted. And I mean, the simplest, this episode could have been one sentence basically, which is like, Josh is pushing away love because he doesn't love himself. And the only solution to feeling more grounded in this life and more, I don't even know. The key to everything is that I have to find my own love inside myself. And then I will feel more at home in those social spheres. I will feel presumably more connected to my art and my identity in this human body for this lifetime. And that'll fix everything, and there'll be never any problems again. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the aliens are up to. I don't know what the mushrooms are up to. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what the eclipses did. I don't know what the solar flares did. If I was watching, if 5 years ago Joshy was watching a podcast of myself now, I would be like, this guy's insane. This guy is psychotic. But I'm in my current body, and so I'm like, this is confusing, but it's also really cool and exciting and a fun adventure. And so, yeah, all right, you know. None of it is so hard that I want to check out of the game, you know, that I want to permanently log off, you know. It's still like, it's like, all right, this is a weird game, but let's go ahead and keep playing through, you know, let's play through. Do they have any tutorials online? Unfortunately, no, not for this one. God, that'd be nice. I remember going to, what is it, like Best Buy or GameStop, looking up the looking at the official guidebook for like Siphon Filter 2. Probably not that one because I was pretty badass at that game, but like a game that really puzzled me, probably more like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider had some moments where it was like, come on, man. I've been down every corridor of this pyramid. Nothing, I've tapped every door, nothing fucking works. And then it's like, yeah, but you have to find the monkey that bites you and like, you know, swinging him around up into this, you know, tree. And he hits a little lever up there, and that's how the big, you know, stone head opens. And if you didn't have the official guidebook, you couldn't have ever known that Lara Croft, with her, like, you know, angular boobs, had to throw a monkey at a lever up in a tree in the jungle. I wasn't really a Tomb Raider player, actually. I didn't like them. I could never get the hang of it. The physics of that game, it didn't sit well with me. Siphon Filter I did like. A lot. 1 and 2. Really liked Halo. Now I'm just talking about video games. After all of that diatribe, this feels kind of cathartic, actually, to just fucking relax for a second. Really liked Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2. Loved the Twisted Metal series. I guess I'm going PS1. Did I say Halo? I meant, obviously that's Xbox, but played every Tony Hawk up until, what was it, Ride or Die or Skate to some goofy, it was when they stopped doing numbers. You know, it was a little more of a Tony Hawk Underground. Loved Gran Turismo 1 and 2, mostly 2. Hot Pursuit, Need for Speed, For the PC, that was a little earlier. What other video games did I spend a massive amount of time on and enjoy every minute of it in the days when I wasn't thinking about this shit? Doom. Yeah, Doom. Doom 2. A little bit of Hexen. A little bit of Heretic. And that's where it dropped off for me. Played some Earthworm Jim. We played some, now we're talking Sega Genesis, all right? We played a little bit of Sonic 1 and 2, a little bit of Sonic and Knuckles. I could never get super far. I got exhausted. There was no save point. Had to play the whole game through. Get out of here. PlayStation was a fun system, though. Anyway, I'm pushing away everyone who ever loved me, all right? Which is a problem in being a human. And it's just like, what is the lesson that Joshi in this incarnation is trying to learn? And why would I think that I have to do that? Oh yeah, it's because I was raised in oppressive religion and had a deeply mentally unwell parent who took my idea of love like a little chunk of wood and chiseled it into some complex puzzle. I'm picturing like I don't think I can describe it. Something from hell, basically. Something with a lot of like burned, charred lines in it, like a little labyrinth burned into a piece of wood that was like glowing red and confusing and hot, but there were some pleasant parts as well. There were some nice parts that were easy to understand, but most of it was confusing and painful. And then handed that to me and was like, this is love. Josh at age 8. And I was like, oh, this is going to affect every relationship I ever have, Mom. So that's in there too. And the way that I work out my own life is by talking about it out loud on a podcast, so that there's a record of all of this. But I hope you can relate. I mean, that's always the root of sharing any of this shit, is like, I hope that some of it resonates and makes sense. Anyway, just going through a weird moment right now. Vector Man 2 was pretty sick. Did I say that earlier? Vector Man was so good. That game was fucking sick. And then on PC, going way back when I was really young, there was this game, Commander Keen. And there was a lot of these games. Side scroller, he had a little pogo stick, he wore a yellow helmet. I want to say Commander Keen 4 was the sweet spot. He would squash little aliens and stuff. Anyway. Something happened tonight where I could kind of see a flood, the crest of a flood approaching me. emotionally, energetically, there's no way I can make sense of that in order to say it to you. And the thing is that the wave is probably good. It's probably good and beautiful and loving and accepting, and it wants me to be a part of it. It's going to consume me, and I can't stop it. And part of me is like kicking and screaming against that. Because it's like, no, fuck you, flood. I want to be my own little separate boat all the time, but I also want to reach enlightenment, and I want to try really hard. There's something, I can't describe this well enough, but it feels so incredibly true. There's something that in my story, in my karma, in this incarnation, whatever the fuck my spiritual path is, whatever all of this is just like, Josh, you can't just be alone anymore. You cannot hide and run from this anymore. I am coming for you, and I am good. I'm loving. I'm going to fucking bowl you over and drown you with love. And like, you can't stop me, bro. And I'm like, fuck off. I will run as hard as I can if I have to run into another lifetime and be a different thing. And it's just, I don't understand why I do that. And there is such an agony in witnessing other people and comparing myself to them, and just being like, they're fully in the love flood already. And like, God, do I judge them hard. God, do I hate them. I hate them. I hate them for enjoying their life. I hate them for... I don't actually hate them. I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I judge them super fucking hard. That's just like, you're just not... You're stupid. You're like an unintelligent human for surrendering to that love. Like, I'm gonna sit back here in the corner like a fucking wallflower and you know, just judge and scope out and like intellectualize about what's happening out there while you're participating in it. What a stupid fucking sheep you are. You dumb hippie burnout who took too many psychedelics. Like, fuck you, idiot. That's my attitude. Like, that deep cynicism. You can hear the anger in my voice because there's such a longing. There's such an envy. That's kind of what I was trying to say. There's this push and pull. I think part of the reason there's so much anger towards people who seem to be having a better time in life than I am, an easier time, a more surrendered time, is because it's like they don't know what I've been through. They don't know how much pain I endured just to get to this. And I don't know what they've been through. They could have objectively suffered far more than me and in different ways and still arrived at the place of love and surrender. Yeah, there's a huge thing in me that just doesn't think that I belong, and there's a part of me that doesn't want to belong. I want to be different. I want to be unique. I I want to be my own thing. I want to make sure if I ever have to break off on my own, I can. Like Robert De Niro said in Heat, don't ever get in a situation that you can't walk out of in 30 seconds flat, which is how I treated my marriage of 12 years. It's how I've treated every romantic relationship since. It's how I treat everything still, kind of. I mean, that it's like, I do love to go deep and get close to people, and there's a part of me that's like, I will fucking end this in a fireball if I need to, immediately. There's a part of me that always keeps a section of my heart closed off. Because it's like, you don't get that. You don't get that part. You get this percentage, which is still really sincere and true and honest and trying. And then I'm always keeping a separate part for me, because like, what if this goes south and I have to... It's important to say that me observing other people and presuming them to be surrendered to the big ocean of love, whatever that means, these are all very vague terms, but that is an assumption that is me comparing myself in a way that is not really helpful or fair. But I can recognize a level of carefree-ness that seems accurate. And whatever that is coming for me, and I've asked for it. And then once it seems to be approaching, I'm like, no thanks. Nope. I'm going to keep myself separate. It's like I want to be loved on my terms. Like, which is understandable given what I've been through, but it's also like, what a goofy thing. I want to be loved on my terms, when I say, when I'm ready, on my schedule. But when I turn on a dime and don't want that love, see ya. Sayonara. Are people able to be loved all the time? What is that? Doesn't that feel disgusting and gross? Doesn't that feel too vulnerable? What if you want to go get McDonald's? What if sometimes you're so trashy of a human that you're like, I want to go get McDonald's, and I don't want anyone to know about that. What if, there's so many what ifs. What if I want to jerk off to something crazy? Just to try it out, you know? What I mean, I'm making joke examples that I've absolutely done, but it's also like, I don't want to be fucking seen. I don't want to be seen, man. I want you to see exactly how much of me I allow you to see, and then the rest of me is mine. Which on one level is fine, but then it's like, God. Can I let big love all the parts of Josh that I still think are fucked up? That's probably the truest thing I've said this whole time. Okay. So basically I still think a lot of me is fucked up and unworthy of love, which is why I don't want to let the big love in. Because I'm tired of being judged. I'm tired of being shamed. Because I like to do what I do, and I want to have zero shame around it. But some part of me still thinks that Josh is unlovable because there are parts of me that are dirty, guilty, shameful, messy, broken, any of those bullshit fucking terms. And if anyone was sitting here with me telling me that same stuff, I would be like, sweet, beautiful soul, there is nothing fucked up about you at all. All of it's allowed. I would go into, it's so much easier to uplift and support and encourage someone outside of me and to just be like, of course you're fine. It doesn't fucking matter. The universe doesn't care. It's all holy. It's all divine. It doesn't fucking matter what you've done that you judge yourself for. So much easier to say that to an outside party than to be able to believe it myself. And I want to kick and scream and rage against the universe. Zach De La Rocha, Tom Morello, they wanted to rage against the machine. Me, I want to rage against the universe. Even though I am it, unfortunately. And it's like, Josh, I'm trying to love you. Trying to love you, Josh, so much. Josh, I love you so much. I'm already you. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my fucking face. I want to eat McDonald's. Not right now, I just mean. That was the end of the bit. Like, to get in my fucking face, I want to eat McDonald's. You get it. Don't judge me for wanting to eat McDonald's. I grew up in poverty, kind of. Lower middle class is not exactly poverty. In America, it kind of is. I'm more impoverished now than I used to be. But the thing is, dude, is that when you're an 8-year-old little boy and your parents are hardcore Christians, and they love George W. Bush so much. That was a little later, not when I was 8. And your mom is driving you and your sisters around town in the Chevy Corsica. And she's like, hey, what if we stop for a Happy Meal? I mean, I've been talking about love this whole episode. Ooh, 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 ooh. In the backseat as a little kid. That may as well have been the Hallelujah Suite, That's the chorus of angels, baby. You get a little meal and a little box and you get a toy and a soda. God bless. So don't judge me for being a 36-year-old man and loving McDonald's sometimes secretly. But if anyone in Portland ever asked me if I liked McDonald's, I would say, I would never, ever put such trash in my mouth. They're destroying the earth. I'm a lifelong vegan. An animal has never crossed my lips. And They are Satanists as well, and child molesters. McDonald's is. They're run by Joe Biden's secret team of lizard people, and they eat children. And actually, McDonald's hamburgers are children. So that's probably a great way to stop this episode. What am I going to do? Advertise myself now? Every Patreon, send me money. I don't give a shit. Whatever. All right. I hope you gleaned from this. Welcome to my bed. You're welcome. This is probably the best place on earth, and only a select few are ever invited into it. So, anyhow, I hope that. I'm not going to do a sign off. Whatever. Go fuck yourself. This episode's over. Not go fuck yourself. I love you.